All right, good afternoon, everybody. We are live here from Keller Williams in Portland, Maine, the Real Portland Maine Team. I'm Mike Weisman.
I'm Matt Dechaine.
And this is our weekly Market Watch update for the markets that we cover, which of course is this Midcoast, Southern Maine area, in particular the Greater Portland and Casco Bay waterfront and waterview properties.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, so as usual, we're going to start off with some market statistics to give you guys an idea of what's been happening in and around Portland and Casco Bay. So let's turn our attention first to Portland, the Greater Portland area.
All right.
So this past week, currently there's 212 active listings on the market in the Portland area.
Yep.
That's down from 7 last week, so not a huge change. Breaks out to 90 condos, 92 single-family homes, and 30 multifamily homes. Okay, so very similar to what we saw actually in this last week. This past week brought 22 closings to the Portland market. On the lower end of that price range was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath condo, 1,100 square feet. That sold for $165,000 after 11 days on the market.
All right, pretty quick sale.
Yep, we're gonna see, and that's pretty common. You're gonna see things in that price range generally go fairly quickly.
Right.
So from there up to the mid 200s, things go fairly quickly.
It seems to be the price range most people are looking at.
Correct. Yeah, but that middle hundreds up to the middle 200s is definitely a sweet price spot to get people look for.
Okay.
The largest sale this past week was a single family home on Baxter Boulevard. That's in the Back Bay, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Featuring 4 bedrooms, 5 baths, 3,700 square feet of living space. That was an all-cash sale after 55 days in the market for $950,000.
Now, for a $1 million home, that's still pretty fast sale, 2 months on market.
That's right. What you see in general, people ask us all the time, and it's talked about all the time, is the days on market. How long does it take for a house to get under contract when it was on the market?
Right.
And the general answer is, right now it's something. What was in our last meeting we saw?
So the statewide average right now is 20.
Right.
The MLS average is 20. Keller Williams is 28, and Keller Williams is 20.
Right. So right now we're saying the average on the multiple listing service that's tracked all the properties is 28 days on market.
Yeah.
And in Keller Williams we're running faster because we're out there marketing and think we're doing a really good job getting houses sold, but it's 20 days. However, I think it's a really important point to understand that days on market is very specific to also the price point that you're at.
Right.
Okay, and of course the area that you're at.
Definitely.
So what Matt's just pointing out, these higher priced homes that get up to $1 million, generally are going to have longer days on market. Not uncommon because there's fewer buyers out there.
Exactly.
So when you see these very short days on market, that's really in that sweet spot, that average price point in the middle 2s, maybe the low 3s in some markets. As you move away from Portland, the days on market tend to get longer.
Right.
And as you go up in price, the days on market tend to get longer. All things being equal.
The far ends of the state, their average days on market is months, no matter what price point.
That's right. It's just fewer buyers out there for the same properties.
Exactly.
Okay. So that all real estate is local.
Right.
All right. Let's turn now to some news in Portland. Then Matt will give us over some current events and news.
So I thought this was interesting. For those of you, I've showed Mike these before. If you've been out in Washington Avenue, the inner part by Congress Street,
right,
out on the Munjoy Hill, I don't know if you've seen those. They call them the black boxes. Mm-hmm. It's those shipping containers that are all lined up at 93 Washington. Mm-hmm. And it's little businesses inside. And the whole point is it's an incubator for people to try new business concepts.
Wow.
Which is a pretty neat idea. It's sort of like the Portland public market upstairs. Restaurants can try out, and if it works out, then they open their own restaurant.
Right.
So the Black Box, they haven't had any trouble attracting any tenants. They've been open about a year.
Right.
And the cheese shop that's in there's a specialty cheese shop. Mm-hmm. They just graduated.
Okay.
Their business is now so that they can move on from the Black Box. They've moved down the road to a new location about 3 times as big.
Yep.
And they're going to keep, growing their business, which is fantastic. So the model's working.
Right.
And on the other hand, there is North Optical that's still in there. They're obviously an optometrist, and those guys are sticking there. They like the space, the size is great. They like the location. So it shows how malleable that location can be depending on what you're trying to achieve. So it's pretty neat.
Right. It's a great way to. It's basically an incubator for new businesses.
Yeah, a low risk way to try your concept out.
Yeah, great. It's a great concept. I liked it a lot.
So I just thought that was a pretty neat story on that. And that covers it for our Portland Market Watch this week.
Okay. So now we're going to turn our attention now over to Casco Bay, which is the other market that we watch. We watch closely the sales and transactions that happen on specifically on Casco Bay, waterfront, waterview properties. So as a quick review, Casco Bay goes from Cape Elizabeth to the south up to the end of the Phippsburg Peninsula to the north.
Yeah.
So it's that big C with Portland being somewhere in the southern end of it, I guess.
Yeah, well, about Yarmouth's halfway point, give or take.
Halfway point, exactly. And we do watch it in two areas now, by the way, north and south. But we're going to look at the entire Casco Bay now. We have 124 active listings on the market.
Okay.
Which is 2 more than we had last week. Currently 40 homes pending in the Casco Bay region. So we're really seeing people at the end of the season here, really just the transactions are starting to happen.
There seems to be a resurgence in buyer interest right now.
Just like last week, there were 6 Waterview and Waterfront Casco Bay homes that are closed this past week. On one end of the range, we had a 3-bed, 2-bath condo on Baxter Boulevard, again in the Back Bay, looking out onto the water. 1,600 square feet. It closed at $375,000 after 26 days in the market.
Yep.
Okay, so a fairly short time period. The highest price sale for this past week was on Quahog Bay with direct water access. As a 1-bed, 1-bath, 500 square feet, and it closed for just under $700,000, $690,000 after 36 days in the market.
And for those who aren't sure, Quahog Bay is between the Harps Wells.
Okay.
That little area
right.
where the 2 fingers go out.
Okay, good. So we're seeing some decent activity there on the water and waterfront condos.
Yeah.
Properties. Okay, now we'll turn some Casco Bay news.
So this is interesting. I've been following this for a little while. I don't know if you guys have heard about the lobstermen trying to save the right whales, or at least being compelled to help save the right whales. Mm-hmm. And so in a news release as of just a few days ago, the Maine Lobstermen's Association, they rejected the Department of Marine Resources plan to seek reduction in fishing gear, saying that the Marine Resources plan exceeded the documented risk posed by the state's lobster fishery. So it's been a tug of war here. The people that want to conserve the environment say that the lobstermen are what's hurting the right whale population by getting entangled in their nets and their traps and the lines that hold the traps. While the lobstermen are claiming that it is undue pressure on them, they're not the only fishing industry causing issues, and that the regulations will stifle their industry and force people to have to, make such drastic changes. It'll be bad economically.
Right.
So it's interesting to see how it plays out. One of the solutions they've come up with is, you've all seen the buoys in the water, so that's a direct line straight down to the lobster pots. One of the solutions is to have a breakaway connection. So for right whale, or anything else that has a lot of pressure encounters one of those, right, ideally breaks away, and then, the whale can continue on and not be caught.
Right.
So we'll see how that plays out. It's still going back and forth. Obviously, lobstermen want to make sure that their livelihood is still viable, which we definitely understand. Right. But we want to protect our resources too, so I'm anxious to see how this works out.
Okay, excellent. Well, good. That's a great quick roundup, or just a quick snippet of news and statistics there for Casco Bay and the Greater Portland area.
Yeah.
So remember, we do these every single week. We are always here to answer your questions. We're working with people coming in from all over the country into the Greater Portland area, looking to buy, looking to relocate. Reach out to us, DM us, message us here on Facebook. We're happy to work with anybody or give you advice, whatever you might need.
Yeah, we love it when people reach out. It's fun. We're anxious to help them get up here, and we love sharing our knowledge.
Yeah, so. We share this video onto YouTube also, and pop over to our YouTube channel. We'll post the link below here. We've got 10, 12 different videos in there now, all about different aspects. We're putting up 2 or 3 every single week. We're building up to over 100 subscribers now on that channel, and we're really, that's taking off really, really well. And as always, we're making new videos every single week. So reach out, DM us, and until next week, we'll see you next week.
All right, see you guys.
All right, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.